Obviously, looking forward to this week, playing a great opponent. They got great personnel all three phases of the game and well coached. So, huge test for us, and looking forward to the week. I'll open it up.
Questions? We'll start with that.
Yeah, Josh, I know you believe in winning with execution, preparation, and those sort of things. I'm curious to know where confidence fits into that. Both of these teams have pretty good reason to have a swagger going into this game. Can you win a game because you're more confident, more self-assured than your opponent?
You can win a game with confidence because you've paid the price, you've worked, you've prepared to go out and play the right way. So, yeah, both teams, I'm sure, are confident and should be. For us, this week preparation is going to be key. They're really good. They got, you got to understand their schemes. That's important. The personnel, the battles within the battle are going to be really important. The line of scrimmage is going to be important. It's a physical game out on the perimeter too. So on both sides of the ball, you got to match that.
Josh, there are teams out there that have been winning year in and year out, and they know how to win games. How have you convinced these guys to have the confidence so quickly that they think they can beat anybody?
Yeah, I haven't convinced them. They've convinced themselves. We talked about, a team of hope, a team of belief. We were on that spectrum a year ago because of our work habits, not just during training camp or during the season, but, the work habits since we got back last January. There's an expectation within our locker room, and you pair that with good leadership inside of the locker room, staff and players that are connected, that compete extremely hard every single day. You put yourself in a position to go play good football and, try to fight and find a way to be on the plus side of the scoreboard when you walk off the field.
Pat and Vince.
Josh, just want to ask you about your proclivity for having big plays here and at UCF, especially in the passing game, and if that's scheme, personnel, or just a willingness to try to go deep.
Yeah, we did it previous stop when we were inside of this league before that too. It takes all of those pieces. Scheme is putting your players in a position to be successful. I think we always ask the question, what can our players do, individually? What can they do at a really high level? And let's put them in a position to do that. And then your players got to be able to go out and perform and execute. So that's understanding your job. It's off-season training. It's understanding of defenses on the offensive side of the ball for us. And, then you put your quarterback in a position to be accurate with the football.
Josh, with you guys having a veteran team with some guys that have graduated like Hendon and others, how much has that helped them and being able to invest and spend time around the facility to have that extra time?
I'm going to ask you to repeat that question one more time. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. With having some veteran guys that have graduated and maybe have some more free time to be able to spend and invest in football, how much has that helped them to be able to do that extra work?
Yeah, those guys are still in class loads. It's not like they're not. So, they're handling the academic side of it. You get into a master's program, you take fewer hours. The master's program is more difficult too, and in some respects. So, but I think the maturity of all of those guys has helped just in the balancing act of what it is to be a college student athlete, from academics to social life to the football side of it, and the maturity of those guys, how to handle the ups and downs, how to compete every single day, how to be consistent in your behaviors, your energy, your focus. Absolutely. You've heard me say it a bunch. Good football teams have really good leadership, and great football teams have great leadership inside the locker room.
And how unique is the challenge that Georgia presents with their tight ends, Bowers, Washington, and those guys?
Yeah, obviously those guys are hugely involved in everything that they're doing. They do a good job in the run game, but then the play action pass, the boots, the movements, the shots, using them on reverses, all of those things. Eye discipline is extremely important inside of your defense, first, second, and third levels, and it's a huge test for us. Their athleticism creates a lot of explosives for them.
West and Ben.
Josh, after the first quarter last year against Georgia, it seemed like that defense was able to kind of contain y'all's offense better than maybe anybody did all season long. Was that the caliber of athletes on that defense? Was that self-inflicted stuff? What led to those struggles there?
Yeah, sure. Their personnel really good, and they are this year too. There's some things that we did too. games like this, situational football, third downs, fourth downs are going to be critical in the way the game ultimately ends up playing out throughout the course of the game. We got to do a better job in a lot of those situations, offensively and defensively.
Josh, just with Darnell, NCC Offensive Lineman of the Week for the second time this year, and a lot of draft buzz now because of what he's done this year. What has allowed him to take such a big step forward? Is it simply just him going back to right tackle, or what has he done within moving back to right tackle?
It's the purpose that he's had inside the building, another year of maturity for him, just in football understanding, but also just like who he is and how he approaches the practice field or approaches the weight room. Been very intentional. He's gained another year of strength, so his power, his athleticism shows up in a different way than it did a year ago, and it was really good a year ago too. But you put all those pieces together, it lends itself to him playing at the level that he is.
Austin and Patrick.
Speaking of Darnell, he seems like he's meshed so well with Glenn Ellerby. When you got here, and everyone's been with you at different stops along the way, how big was that to have that kind of calming voice in that room, and just kind of talk about the job he's done as far as building relationships with the guys in the room?
Yeah, Glenn's a huge part of what we do offensively. He's smart, got a great mind, and is a fantastic teacher. Inside of the meeting room, his ability to help all of those guys grow in their football IQ, football understanding our schemes, and then fundamentally develop is why that group, has been consistently recognized within our conference for individual play, but collectively as a group too. And, if you're going to be good on offense, you got to be good up front. And for us, the run game is where it starts. And Glenn's ability to connect, get that group to become one. The offensive line units are a really unique unit. And you got to have guys that are selfless, right? That typically don't get a ton of praise. But they also have to operate, 5 guys as one. And their ability to be connected, be a group that loves being around each other, that love being in that room, speaks to Coach Ellerby's, ability to create a real cohesive unit.
Josh, it seems like every game you guys are getting, your offense is getting different looks from the defense. Probably prepared for some of them maybe you do based on film. But you guys are able to adjust, kind of pivot and adapt within the game. What does that say about your system, your coaching staff, and your players that you guys can sort of adjust and just keep on rolling?
Yeah, for sure. That's always going to happen. Sometimes in what we do happens more frequently. It starts with Coach Golish's ability to see things up top. But, our staff, just having been in this together as long as we have, Coach Ellerby and I, third stop together. I think this is year 7. Coach Halsley and I have been together over a decade, played for me. Coach Pope being in year 2, Coach Mack being in year 2, all lends itself to us thinking the same way, being slightly different, bringing in new ideas, but also on game day being able to adjust what we're seeing.
Eric and Paige.
Looking at Georgia's defense, what does it do well? What stands out on film?
Georgia's defense. They're athletic. They can run all 3 levels. They're physical on all 3 levels. They don't have any busts. They play their assignments extremely well. They make you earn it. It's a great test for us. You're going to have to win one-on-ones. That's out on the perimeter. That's in the offensive line, in the trenches. And you got to be able to sustain drives.
I guess for Georgia offense and Brock Bowers, what have you been seeing and what matchup do you think you'll have to have against him?
Yeah, that matchup changes, because of where they position him. They do a great job of moving him around. You have to identify him in all the different formations that you're going to get from them. You got to have great eye discipline too, because of the play action pass and their ability to uniquely get those guys, him in particular, into situations where they create grass for him. You got to be able to handle the run game too. All those things play off of that. So line of scrimmage will be vitally important in this, but you got to know where he's at all night long.
Rob and Mike up front.
Coach, defensively, you had a bunch of injuries in the secondary, but still probably played your best game, pressure, run defense, all. Where is that improvement coming from this late in the year?
Yeah, you've heard me say it. Good teams continue to get better throughout the course of the year, and that happens as a unit, but that happens because individuals take steps, and we continue to get better. We got great coaches back there. Coach Banks, Coach Martinez do a great job in the classroom with those guys, and we'll continue to grow. last week we were healthier than we were the week before. I feel like this week will be the healthiest we've been in a while.
Josh, I know you guys see great talent every week, but Georgia got.
You do in this league, yeah.
Georgia got number 88 back for this game. Can you just talk about the impact that a guy like Jalen Carter can have?
Yeah, athletic, disruptive. Is great on third downs, rushing the passer, but is explosive and dynamic and changes the way the game's played. If you watch the video when he's healthy, on normal downs too. Versatility from him. He can be a problem.
Pat?
Josh, how long did it take, whether it was looking at film or getting Hooper on the field, where you could see that he was a great fit for what you'd like to do?
Yeah, I think Hendon's development since we've gotten here is a great story too, and that's as a leader, especially this off season, just being comfortable and confident in his own skin. But from the first day that we got here, or the first day of spring ball, to who he is now, just fundamentally, completely changing, who he is. Platform in the pocket, the ability to subtly move in the pocket, find the soft spot, keep his eyes down the field, be in a good position, deliver the football. His motion become way more consistent, which has allowed his accuracy to improve. But then you pair that with his football IQ, understanding of what we're doing, and then understanding defenses at a completely different level than when we first got here, has allowed him to be extremely decisive. His eyes are in the right place. That takes him to his reading progression. Now you pair that with his fundamentals, taking a whole nother jump in his game, and he's become a guy that's operating as highly and as effectively as anybody in the country.
Mark and Wes?
Josh, the home fan base has obviously given you a home field advantage unlike pretty well anything you've ever seen. How do you prepare your offense to go to Georgia now, where they're going to be very similar?
Yeah, for sure. Great environments. That's why you come and coach and play in this league. You want to be in big time games, and there's something unique about being on the road and facing that type of environment too. It's fun and exciting. So. We'll practice with crowd noise like we do. When we're at home, we practice it as well. We just do it with the defense because they got to learn how to communicate through it. So, we'll be try to prepare for that and be ready to handle it. We obviously know that it'll be a great environment.
Josh, Saturday would have been the first time, I guess, Cedric got cut loose in a game like setting there for a few snaps and
Yeah.
everything. How do you think he handled it when you watched it? You watched it on tape, and how does he feel afterward?
Yeah, I think you could see what it meant to him to be back on the field with his teammates after his first or second catch. You could see the emotion come out. Thought he played extremely well. Just watching him run out there, he was fluid, natural, playing at full speed. Really liked what he did, and obviously we had a plan. He practiced for a couple of weeks, full speed, before he got on the field. We kind of had a pitch count on him this past week. He'll be ready to roll this week.
Yeah, what have you thought of the way that Stetson Bennett has played, and how have you really seen him grow since even the last time you guys saw him?
Yeah, confidence, from just the first time that he got on the field to who he is now, complete confidence, command in what they're doing offensively. He's got great playmakers around him, does a great job at distributing the ball. I think he's undervalued in some respects with his feet. He's explosive, he's twitchy. When it's not right in the pocket, he extends plays. That can be him throwing on scrambles, but also him taking, tucking the ball and making plays. He made a couple against us last year that changed the game. You got to do a great job of bottling him up.
All right, thank you, Coach. We have players short